Well, hello, all of my wonderful YouTube friends. I'm so glad you have joined me for the second episode in Fall Food Fridays, an open collab hosted by Moss Family TV. Throughout the month of September, every Friday, a whole host of people are uploading videos to give you the best in fall inspiration. There's a playlist that will include everything. Be sure and go on over to Moss Family TV and check that out. This week, I am bringing the most unique recipe. I have heard of a lot of recipes, but this one is new to me. I just came by this recipe a few weeks ago, and I did some looking to see what I could find, and I decided to switch it up a little bit to suit me best, and this is what I'm showing you today. I have a feeling you're gonna like this one. Let's jump on into it. You guys, I have such a fun recipe today. This is new for me, and it may be new for you, but a little while back I saw this recipe idea and I knew I had to make it. So here are the ingredients. You need a can of yams. You need a little bit of cinnamon. I'm going to go with imitation maple flavor. Now, of course, use real maple syrup if you have it, but instead of vanilla extract, I'm going to go with maple. I'm going to use a half a stick of butter, and then 1 cup each of sugar, milk, and flour. So this is giving you an idea of what I'm making. And then I've got some brown sugar. So these are my ingredients for this recipe that I'm getting ready to put together. I could not be more excited about it. I am making a sweet potato cobbler. That's right, sweet potato cobbler. So let's get started on this thing. It is about as simple as a cobbler is. And my version of a cobbler is super simple, never fails, and is one of my all-time favorite desserts. So let's get started. Alright, I'm going to make this just like I make a regular fruit cobbler. Now, I did do some research on sweet potato cobblers after I saw the original recipe that I saw, and there's a lot of variation out there. I decided I was going to make it the very same way I make my fruit cobblers. So I want to also tell you about this bowl. This is mine now, but it was my mom's gravy bowl, and when she made biscuits and gravy for breakfast, or sometimes we had breakfast for dinner, this was the bowl that the gravy went in, and she did not use this bowl for much else besides that. It was just the specific gravy bowl. So I like that, and I'm super happy to have it. My mom is 82, and I use a lot of the recipes that she made or makes, because that's what I grew up eating and that's what I like. So into this bowl, I'm going to put my ingredients for the breading topping for the cobbler. So I'm going to use 1 cup of flour. I use self-rising, 1 cup of sugar, and 1 cup of milk. And so this is kind of a cuppa recipe. You maybe have heard that before when referencing cobblers. A cuppa. So a cup of milk, a cup of sugar, a cup of flour. And that's how I make mine every time. So let's get this thing thoroughly mixed and all the lumps out. Also to this mixture, I'm going to add my maple. So about a teaspoon. This is going to provide some really great flavor. Oh my goodness, the smell is wonderful. Intensify the color a little bit. Alright, I'm going to use this very large square baking dish. Normally I use a 9 by 13 for a cobbler, but today I'm going to use this one. And I've thoroughly sprayed that with cooking spray. And I'm going to add in my can of yams. Now, before I add these into the pan, I'm gonna drain off about half the syrup. And in my mind, that's about what I want in this dish. So I'm gonna drain off about half and I'm gonna add it to the pan. All right, look how beautiful these look. As I said, I drained off about half of the liquid and then put my potatoes into the dish here. And then I just took my spoon and I kind of broke up the bigger pieces. So you want kind of chunkier pieces, at least in my mind. Like I said, this is a new recipe for me. So I'm kind of just looking at this kind of how I make my peach cobbler. So this is about the right size, I think, for what you want. They are ready to roll. So the next step here, I am going to sprinkle on some cinnamon. And I just think that's gonna give it a great flavor. These just pair together when you're having sweet potatoes anyway. Cinnamon goes great. And then I'm also gonna add just a little bit of brown sugar. And this, I'm just gonna eyeball it. Okay, so I did the whole thing. That's probably about 1/4 cup. So I'm gonna wash all the sticky off my hands and I'll be right back. Okay, now to the sweet potato mixture that's in the bottom of our pan. We're gonna add in this topping mixture that we made earlier, the cuppa, so cup of milk, cup of sugar, cup of flour, and we just wanna drizzle this. All right, now as this bakes, as with a normal cobbler, the breading that we just put on there will start rising up and it'll form this most delicious, you can see here it's already popping up, crust on the top, delicious. Now, if you want a more crispy crust, you can leave the butter off, but I love butter on mine. I've actually seen people do butter in the bottom of their pan on a cobbler, but I always do mine on the top. And a lot of people use a stick of butter. I just don't feel like it needs a whole entire stick. I think a half a stick of butter is plenty. All right, we've got all the butter in here. And this is ready for the oven. So we're gonna bake this for about, I'm gonna start checking it at 30 minutes. It could bake up to an hour. So a happy medium, of course, about 45 minutes, maybe where we end up, but I'm gonna start checking at a half an hour. And we just want the doughy part that we put in, the topping mixture, that's what we want to make sure it's cooked all the way through. So in the oven, this is gonna go. All right, you guys, here it is, right out of the oven. Look at this. Oh my word. It almost looks like it's caramelized around the side here. It's thick. It looks just like caramel in there. It smells amazing. This baked for 45 minutes. I checked it at 30 and it wasn't ready. And another 15 minutes was just right. So I kind of tested it here and there to make sure the toothpick came out clean, and it did. And so this, I am so excited about this. Now I want to say this is not diet friendly. This is not sugar free. This is not keto. This is not Weight Watcher approved. None of those things. This is probably a special occasion dessert. You know, if you've decided to have dessert once a week and splurge, yeah, this would be one of those. I'm gonna serve this up here with some ice cream. I think this would also be delicious served up with some milk splashed on top or some cream splashed on top, or a little dollop of whipped topping. But we're gonna serve it up with ice cream. This is gonna be really fun to try. All right, guys, and here is the delicious sweet potato cobbler all plated up. Look how delicious this is. And what I'm gonna do here, I've added a couple little scoops of ice cream, and I think just for good measure, let's add just a little dollop of whipped cream. And then I've got a jar of cinnamon sugar, and we're just gonna sprinkle a little bit over top. All right, right, how's that? Just beautiful. I am ready to dive into this. I can already tell you that my husband has tried some and he says it's delicious and a recipe worth repeating. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy it as well. And if you're looking for a new fall recipe, this is the one to try. My reaction to this dessert, it was spectacular. I would not change a single thing. I will be repeating this recipe. It will be in my personal recipe collection. I'll be making it at holidays. It was fabulous. I hope you give this one a try. Thanks for watching, guys.